Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. Today, we're going to talk about some randomizer mechanics that really haven't taken a hold in the tabletop role-playing community, and tarot cards, playing cards, percentile dice systems, and just kind of we're going to navigate our way through, like, why do we think it hasn't caught on, some of the pitfalls, and maybe even some games that use those mechanics, and maybe even separate or replace some of our dice with those systems. I understand that they're a little complicated, but first, guys, put your feet up, grab your snacks, and let's prepare ourselves to get into some rather deep-ish, off-the-cuff, just kind of average conversation in our tabletop role-playing community, this side of the interwebs. All right, hello everyone. Let's put our overlay up here. So, nothing exactly specific about this today's subject, but I guess it's just a way to, I don't know, look at our gaming community history and whatnot. I've got like 4 sets of tarot cards of all different types. I've got this set of tarot cards that came with a game, that a role-playing game specifically designed for use with these tarot cards, and got another set of tarot cards. And by the way, I am not a legitimate tarot card reader at all. I'm just a fan of some of the designs with them. And got another set. This is just a randomized set. It's black with gold trim. They're waterproof, so I got those as well. And of course, we have playing cards and percentile dice systems. Percentile dice for use with some systems. And it got me thinking, like, in the solo tabletop role-playing community, which is growing exponentially, having some kind of oracle or a way to disseminate an outcome that's not pass or fail, but has something that leads us to the next complication, that the character fails but something good happened, or the character succeeds but there's a drawback or complication or a mixed success. And you would think the easiest thing to go to would be tarot cards or playing cards. Now, I understand some people who are not in the role-playing community, or maybe are, but would prefer not to have people basically playing with tarot cards. I can understand that fact, but I can't imagine that being a large percentage of the population of individuals in the tabletop role-playing community. Also, there's a much older game known as Everway. And this is let's see if I can get the cover of this here. This is a much older game from the, I want to say 95. And Everway has always had a, math rocks fun, right? I get it. And Everway is a diceless game, again, using a extremely modified tarot card deck, because not only is it about the cards themselves, meaning like the suits, but the artwork itself is supposed to be very inspiring. And what I understand, long before we got online and we have like dice rolling systems and whatnot, long before that, of course, we have ourselves our let's see if I can pull up a set of these. We do have ourselves our math rocks, right? And great. I love them. But what we're doing with our dice is we are extracting uh, a result out of them, and it feels like it's another step in the way of getting to see what we really want to see, which is why I don't understand why we don't have a large host of percentile systems. So what I mean is, whenever we roll dice, we're looking for um, a randomized adjudication of a situation. I'm trying to make it as general as possible. Uh, for the most part, a lot of games are, I want to roll to hit. I want to see how effective I am, like through damage. I want to roll to see if I recover. I want to. We're going to randomly decide whether you've dodged out of the way or some other effect. And you would think like tarot cards, yeah, definitely for solo games, because I've seen this come up on my feeds where there's a ton of solo games. And let's see if we can. I don't know if these are the best to show, but this is my set of waterproof black and gold waterproof cards. By the way, you can just, I got it from off of Amazon. You could type in literally waterproof playing cards, waterproof, and I wanted them because I've got, I got sticky fingers and whatnot, and I wanted something maybe that just in case somebody puts nacho cheese or whatever, something like that, and just can wipe them off. But anyway, these are the tarot cards, black and gold. Horrible to look at, but when it comes to playing cards, just let's stick with this part. I'm surprised the mathers haven't really caught on to it, because when you have a deck of cards, you could easily, first of all, you can just remove the cards that you don't want to be in that card deck to get the numbers you want. So let's go with D10. You could remove every card out of a standard playing card deck and just have all the 1 through 10 cards, ace being the 1, and then go to 10, and then remove all the other face cards, a joker, and you still have a 1 through 10 chance of pulling a card, randomizing, as well as having 4 suits. And the 4 suits could also give you variations in the outcome, and you could label them any way you want. Standard playing cards using the spades, clubs, hearts, diamonds aren't really associated with anything specific in tabletop role-playing games or their descriptions, so you could write down anything you want. Is hearts have anything to do with body or blood, or is hearts dealing with emotion? You decide at your table. Diamonds, is diamonds a resource or wealth, or a material gain or loss? You could decide whatever that is. Same thing with clubs and spades. I mean, what do they assign themselves to? Could spades be weapons or a tool? Yes. Could clubs be, I don't know, blunt weapons or whatever? Yeah. Hey, hello there, Heathen. You could decide anything you want. So the outcomes of pulling a random, say, selection of cards is actually preferable. Same thing with tarot cards. Now with tarot cards, we do have ourselves, let's see if I can do this. Clubs could be reputation, exactly. And they don't necessarily have to align with physical, specifically with like a physical outcome. It could be social outcome. It could be a intellectual outcome or something of that nature. And then even with tarot cards are broken up into 2 categories. One, the thicker, the most numerous cards have 4 suits. Don't force me to say them. Okay. Swords, wands, pentacles, and cups. And pentacles are not pentagrams. I believe pentacles are, and please, Drew, I hope she's here. Someone correct me. But pentacles are associated with coins and badges or something. But again, as a person who doesn't use tarot cards in the traditional sense, you can assign them for anything. And then along with those cards, we also have the named cards. The most famous ones are the named cards. And the named cards have numbers to them, and they go from 0 all the way to, I think it's like 22 or something like that. Oops. At the very top, Roman numerals. And on the bottom of those cards, instead of having, they do have a numerical value from 0 to, I think it's 22. At the bottom of them, they also have these names, the Fool and Chariot. It's difficult because my camera's got a pretty bright light on it. But the reason why I'm surprised the mathers haven't caught on to it is because you could very easily draw a card and throw that card right back in the deck, shuffle, draw another card, or whatever. And it's the major and minor arcana. A standard playing card deck is basically a tarot deck minus the major arcana. Exactly. Unless you, now, again, mathers out there, I'm begging you, you can separate playing cards with face cards versus the numerical cards. You could separate them by suits. You can, and there are so many different mechanisms. If you want to make a D6 system with a card deck, you just remove everything you want out of the card deck and leave in it 1 through 6, right? I mean, you could remove 1 suit or 2 suits and just leave, or you could separate things by black card versus yellow card for playing cards. I mean, there's so many different ways. And as you remove a card, the math of that deck of cards changes. It may be slight, but, and I bring this up because I'm using an OGL, Open Gaming License, and an SRD from a set of games that I'm using for Obsidian Star, my science fiction game. And in that game, you get to keep, you roll dice against a difficulty, and that difficulty, instead of it being rolling dice, the way that game is set up, and I'm not using the exact same system, but it came to mind about a thing. You roll dice against the cards that are drawn from a standard playing card deck. And then if you meet or exceed them, you get to keep those cards. So another great thing about having cards is this is a physical representation of a success or a resource or a meta. Or now I know there's some games that use cards for initiative, or it's tacked on to the end, or it's introduced, but it's not really part of the game. And that's not what I mean. I mean, I'm surprised in our own tabletop community, we don't have multiple games that have caught people's attention that basically use playing cards or tarot cards as their major adjudication. Now, in what's it called? This is the Spheres of Heaven deck, and from Sephiro, and this came with a tabletop role-playing game. It is a Powered by the Apocalypse game called The Hidden Isles, and it uses only this deck of cards, tarot card deck, for all of its adjudication, and it separates the major and minor arcana. And in the minor arcana, they're numbered like you would have dice numbered, and then it just has the 4 suits. So even if I'm just making up a number, if you pull a card and you pull a 7, is it the 7 of Wands or 7 of Cups? And that tells you, it gives the blended outcome of a thing. This is how about tarot cards for poisonous and psychotropic plants, only available from Send Me to Hell. I can't click it. I've never heard of that. But yes. And also, depending on the number of cards you want to keep in your deck or to use as a reward, maybe given the players as they, when they have a success or they find treasure or they overcome something. For example, Substratum Protocol, the game that I'm using as the OGL, you get to keep the cards, and then you spend then can spend the cards for certain events and whatnot. And I'm using a similar system, although I'm not using cards, but the math still runs out the same, right? It's really weird. Um, let me segue over slightly to percentile dice systems. So, Mithras is a game system based on. Boy, I'm going to butcher this. Let's see if I can find it. Mithras. Is it here? Come on! I know I've got so many files. I can't find it. There is a. I know. No, not Bastion Lands. Where did I stick it? I know I stuck it somewhere. There we are. Mithras Imperative. So, the Mithras Imperative is a percentile system based off of the old what's the game? Rune Quest. And but anyway, fantasy game, percentile systems, and a lot of times us mathers, I'm not a mather, us in the tabletop role-playing community love to figure out the statistics, the outcomes, the probabilities of using various dice, whether you're using a dice pool or you're using the other math rocks that we have. You guys are joking. Using the other math rocks. But some people would say, well, why not just use percentile dice? Since we want to know if there's a 67% chance of success or failure, why not just use those numbers for and then get right to the point, right? And I'm very surprised that more percentile systems haven't caught on. There's 100 different derivations of outcomes in it. So a character could have a 67% chance with their sword skill and a 78% chance with their spear skill and a 36% chance with their survival skill, and their negotiation skill can be 42% and move up to 43. I mean, I'm surprised that hasn't really caught on. And I guess I'm wondering why. I wonder, is it because tarot cards are a little bit too esoteric? Is it because it's very difficult to use cards online? I would say that there's probably a number of free random card generating websites or apps out there. Let's see. Free playing card generator. Random card generator. First one comes up. Click the first one. So, let's see. Let's share this out. Hopefully it won't be too many pop-up ads. I didn't actually expect myself to do this, but why not? Why the hell not? Right? So I typed in free play. What did I type in? Free playing card generator. It just says draw 2 cards. I'm going to change it to draw 3 cards. Let's clear this out. Oops. 3 cards and draw. And then we get 3 cards. And I'm sure there's plenty of these around, right? And then of course we have ourselves all the different suits and faces, and I'm just suggesting this from because people gamble and people use playing cards that are well outside the tabletop role-playing community. You could introduce or take out or remove any number of these cards, and I'm surprised. I'm just really surprised. Now, something that can be done really well with playing cards could be players could draw hands of cards and keep some and have to get rid of some. So you could encourage players failing in an action. For example, right here we have a two of diamonds, ace of spades, nine of hearts, and the two of diamonds. Let's say we go higher is better. Ace being excellent instead of being a number one, could be the 11. Maybe I want to get rid of this two of diamonds, so I might be encouraged in a gaming aspect to get rid of this two of diamonds so that I can draw another card to replace this one that I don't want, i.e., I fail to fail forward or something of that nature. It just I don't know. Spook says the only systems I've used that have percentile based skills is Palladium, and the skill section is nice, but the rest of the system is a mess. It is. So I think that might be a big issue. Yeah, because maybe some of these percentile systems are tacked onto games that maybe just are like, the rest of the system isn't that good. Shai says, too esoteric? Seems to me like the best possible use of them would be as props in a fantasy scenario or sci-fi. Hey, what would Xenon tarot cards be like? I you know what? I have considered creating my own sci-fi set of tarot cards. By the way, these cards are also customizable. You can go on Amazon right now and get your own set. I'm going to stop screen sharing this out. But you can go on Amazon right now, and for a relatively low amount of money, I don't know, $30 to $50 is a little expensive. But anyway, playing cards and tarot cards, you can get them customized by uploading your own artwork or photographs or whatever per card and have them shaped or massaged for your own uses. Now, of course, then that would be one-off, but still, why not just have a chart, right? Like, people complain about, what's the game? Fantasy Flight Games uses dice without numbers on them. They use symbols. But many people have come up with, like, let's see, FFG dice chart. There we go, images. And let me share this out. So I wasn't expecting to talk about Fantasy Flight Games, but why the hell not, right? So here we have just some images, and I'll address your point there because I believe you me, I thought about it. So excuse me. Fantasy Flight Games has dice with symbols on it. Right here, I typed in FFG dice chart, and look what I got. So many people have basically taken those dice and going, okay, well, here's what it looks like if you just roll regular dice, and here's the outcome. So it's not that difficult. I know some people are like, well, it's a what is it? What's the term used? Where they're trying to extract money for you having to buy the special dice or something. But it's not that difficult to find out. If you're rolling a D8 die, it's got all the probabilities down. You could just look at a chart and just be done with it, right? It's and I if I'm not mistaken, I believe Fantasy Flight Games has its own dice roller. So yeah, we in the community we get set in our ways so hard. It's really strange. Ooh, what is this? The Indie Game Reading Club, Alien Drop Table. Never heard of that. I'm gonna have to save that, save that aside. That looks fun. But anyway, a lot of our randomizers we really have not attached ourselves to. That I understand that it may set you apart in a bad way for sales or something like that, but I also think it would set you apart in a good way. Now, you guys bring up like, a sci-fi themed set of tarot cards would be amazing. Yeah. Now, I will say, again, one of the limitations is if you come up with like a one-off tarot card deck, how do you get that in other people's hands in a easy, cheap, free method? I think there's a way to do it. First of all, if you count the cards out, the cards count out to a number. And you can always have dice attached to that number. So again, you could have a chart that just goes or a multi-place chart that goes, for example, with playing cards, goes from ace as a 1 through 10, and so that you can use d10. If you want to add in the jack, queen, king, you could then attach to that, like, of course you'd have to roll, what would it be, a d13, but there are ways to do it. There are ways around it for dice rolling. Like, you can roll a d10, and if you roll a 10, then you get to roll again with like a d4, maybe ignoring the 1 or ignoring the 4 or something of that nature, right? Like, there are, and that's just pulling shit out of my ass because I hadn't even thought about using it that way. But you could also roll a d10 and a d4, and a d10 could tell you which card you got, 1 through 10, and then a d4 could tell you what the suit is, like whether it's a diamonds or whatever, and you can make up your own suits and whatnot. It's just really strange. I'm making an argument without solving too many things, so let me think of some solutions while I get to your comments here. Nameless Spook says, I like the Fantasy Flight dice. The systems I've played have been fun. The company does have some pretty shameless money grabs, so I see the turnoff for most folks. Sure, but that's like saying, and I'm not arguing with you, but for the community, that's like arguing with a Ferrari dealership, right? And saying that the Ferraris are too expensive. Yes, because they're for people who are willing to pay the price for that. But you don't need a Ferrari to drive around, right? Like, I just showed you, I literally just Googled, I didn't even put Fantasy Flight, I put FFG dice chart, and it literally has the chart for using regular dice to get the symbols. We don't need to buy the dice to find out what the symbols mean. So I feel like it's a straw man argument, right? Like, it's what was the game that came out from Monty Cook? Invisible Sun. That was the $300 black box tabletop role-playing game, and everyone would like folded their iron arms and pouted their lips, like, it's too expensive. I'm going, no, it's as expensive as it is. It's not too expensive and not too cheap. It is the price that it is. You don't have to pay for it. It's just weird. I don't know. We like to most of us may not be in the financial situation to be able to afford those things. That doesn't mean they shouldn't exist. Right? It's just a very funny thing that, from my point of view, about that. Free probably not quality, but I'm sure there are people who will print cards once you design them. Oh, okay, yes. I can see that happening. Or Drive-Through RPG also has drive-through cards, so that's possible as well, to design cards that people could then get print on demand. Although I don't, with our tariff situation, I don't know where they're getting printed, but yeah, that's also a thing. See, yeah, thank you. See, I don't have the FFG, any of the FFG games. Spook says the books also come with a chart in them to convert FFG dice. Yeah, I did. It's wild. It's just wild to me. Funny. Also, when it comes to playing cards and tarot cards, while it seems like something that would hold us back from finding out what the outcome is from the game, for me, I find that like tarot cards fit perfectly into not just solo play, but world building and what happened? What happened? Said, Letha said, "Oh, don't even get me started. Oh my God, I come to your show to escape politics for a bit." What did I say? What did I? Oh, tariffs. My fault. I didn't mean to trigger you. Yeah. That's why we come to this corner of the interwebs to escape that stuff, even for a little bit, right? But honestly, as an example, okay, so for the major arcana in tarot cards, and I might these are the darker ones here. I'm trying to show the bottom of the cards. No, kitty. No, no, no. You can't walk on the keyboard. No keyboard walking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're keyboard parkourist. But even with the major arcana, which they do have numbers associated with them, but at the bottom we've got the Fool, we've got the Hanged Man, we've got like the Tower, we have Judgment and whatnot. How easy would it be? Really, kitty? Really? Come on, Brutus. How easy would it be? Sorry, I didn't mean to grab you so uncomfortably. How easy would it be to attach them to real life things in our fantasy game? Meaning, like if you draw the sage or the fool or something, that's silly. Oh man, why not have them appear in the game, right? Hey, someone draws. Let's pull a random. Oh, duh! I pulled the Hanged Man again. The Death card, or in tarot cards, we've got like the Ace of Wands or the Knight of Cups or something. Those could be real people. Stop. Those could be real individuals, NPCs, and whatnot in your game, or at least viable individuals, NPCs, and whatnot in the game by just drawing a random card. And yeah, maybe we don't want to have another role playing game where it's another bandits attacking us on the road. Yeah, right. I was just thinking of that. Like, pulled the Hangman twice. Ouch. But hey, you walk into a city. What do you see? Pull three tarot cards. The Hanged Man and the Fool and I don't know, the Sage. Those would be pretty interesting NPCs to find in the town square. I mean, what is hanged? Is it past tense or is it present tense or future participle or something like that? Like, is this person about to be executed? Is it in the process of being executed, or are they already dead? And just from those cards being drawn, you can start to tell a story. Now, in solo games, this is very popular. Having some kind of oracle. For those who don't know, for tabletop role players that play solo games, they try to have an oracle, and the oracle is basically a way to randomize events to continue their story because you're doing it solo. And some of it is about rolling dice, and there may be a table or a chart or a book they can refer to, but there are some agnostic books and or games or cards that people will draw to further the story, like who do they find on the road, or what's the opinion of the nobles, or whatnot. Yeah, I mean, hey, a Star Wars cards, I believe there already exists. I bet we could. I'm sure there's a Star Wars set of tarot cards or playing cards, and I'm sure there's the same thing for Star Trek, right? I wonder if there's a generalized space one. I don't know. So what about that name that manifesto that is an RPG where your players are role-playing as protesters, paid activists, or the fuzz trying to figure out who is at the protest gatherings? I'd never heard of that one. Although, what's the card game? The one where you're the werewolf and everyone's trying to find out who the werewolf is? I guess a very easy skin of that could be in that game. Name that manifesto. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, kitty. I wonder if you can hear him. Just a rambling engine. Yeah, you get an engine. Yeah, you own me, I own you. Yeah. Cats are like, I've got the human trained. You want to get down? All right. Go. Yeah, meow. All right. Um, Let me segue back to percentile systems. So I do have Mithras, or the Mithras imperative, and the Mithras imperative, I believe, is from RuneQuest. I can't remember, and I believe they're also trying to release the a free version known as um, the basic role playing. Oh man, I am butchering the history of this game. Let's see if I can find, because I do have the Mithras. Oh, you guys! No! He even said he came here to get away from the politics. Oh man. I'd play it and feel called out. You guys are bad. You guys are horrible. But I get it. Mm-mm-mm. That Trump card would fit in perfectly, or an Elon card that has a chance of inciting riots or adoration and worship over stupid ideas. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, kitty. Boy, your engine is going. It is. Oh, thank you. Very fun. Ouch. See, you guys are already coming up with stuff. I know you guys are being sarcastic, but Mithras imperative. There we go. The Mithras imperative is an OGL, and it is an OGL and an SRD itself from Design Mechanism. Here we go. Let's go ahead and find this. Here we go, and share this out. This is a percentile system. Again, strange. I like that redacted. So this is from the Design Mechanism website, and actually, you know what? I'll copy this. This is a percentile system, and I know there's plenty of other games out there, but I'll paste this in the comment section because I want to give credit. But right here, the Mithras imperative, $0. Core rules, right? So from the Design Mechanism. Now, I know it's difficult for you guys to read this, but it says Mithras imperative is a complete, open, orc licensed d100 game system that offers thrilling adventures in multiple genres, based on percentile dice and a variety of skills tailored to the character's culture and profession rather than classes or levels. Gameplay is simple and intuitive to understand and resolve, and highly flexible. Now, if we go to the game itself, where's my game? If we go to the game itself, here we have, this is the Mithras imperative, same cover, right? Percentile system. Let me double up the pages here, and let's get it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it a little bit better. Just a page through here. So here's the orc license, attributions, all that kind of stuff, right? And here we have a character sheet. And character sheet percentile system tells you what where you place whichever stats you have and characteristics and adding them together for your skills. And if you notice right here down on the bottom right on the screen, we even have locations for suffering damage and actual armor and hit points for locations. And this has been a big complaint for people who play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, well, if you got stuck with an arrow or burned or something, it doesn't make any sense because hit points don't have any there's no resulting loss of ability or exhaustion or or pain or wound system, and this system already has it. It's wild. And this is free. And you can make up your own. It is, dare I say, it is flavorless on purpose. So you can make up your own this Mithras Imperative tends to run fantasy, but it does have firearms and high tech things like that. So if you want to use it for those other games, now are the rules a little bit more fiddly? Sure, of course it is, of course, but it also adds in those things that maybe people in your gaming group or something are missing, and you could actually do this for free. There's different careers, skill points, percentile systems, heroics, and things like that. How to adjudicate the um, uh, the system. There's even here a skill pyramid where you start out with one skill at 50, two skills at 40, three skills at 30, four skills at 20, five skills at 10. Basically, those are percentile systems. And then you could start to modify them a little bit. So you still have a little bit of niche protection where each character can have, beginning at the character creation, a 50% chance, and then add additions to it based on your stats and whatnot. So everybody has a different skill, getting some niche protection, since this game is not a class system. It is a skill system. Passions. You also have percentile system for, I know I'm going to use the wrong word. It's alignment system. Instead, they have a passions system, kind of passions and duties, and you can apply percentile to it. So you can say, hey, my 67% chance of being honorable, can I lie? And you're like, hey guys, why don't you just roll some dice? And you go, yeah, okay. Can I lie in a situation? Roll the dice, and you try to get your percentile or below. But anyway, this is Mithras Imperative, and all the skills it tells you. Forgery is Dex plus Intelligence. Gambling is Int plus Power. Bureaucracy is Intelligence times 2. Artwork is Power plus Charisma, and all that kind of stuff. So it even lends itself to you almost can't min-max in this game as well, because you're combining two stats, and sometimes those two stats don't coincide like you would think they do. Skill rules for different circumstances. And again, with a percentile system, very easy to add plus or minus 10%, plus or minus 20%, plus or minus 30%. Hit locations. Fun. You want to know exactly what happened? Hit locations. The gentleman from the YouTube channel Me, Myself, and Die, his game is based on something like this, using percentile system and using the same roll to adjudicate your crits, your hit locations from one single roll. And I believe he's using it from like the tens group, the ones category and a tens category when you're rolling percentile dice. And this is a pretty brutal system as well, by the way. There's firearms in here, running combat. But anyway, excuse me, but you get the point. Ooh. Oh, it faded away. What the heck? Oh well. Let's go back to what you guys are saying. TA says, yeah, I had pain and hit points for characters with pluses and minuses for things they are more or less mentally susceptible to. Running out of pain points completely resulted in passing out, but could also lead to heart attacks and shock, etc. And then Spook says, I get the appeal for realism and damage via where you're hit, but you're also pretending to fight dragons and throw magic, so maybe it's not a fully realistic game to begin with. I think it's been around since... It's very simulationist in its depictions, So, for example, if you suffer damage to your left arm and that's where you carry your shield, you may not be able to hold your shield up and that kind of thing. Yeah, though there's no harm in hit for zones. There's no harm in house rule for hit zones. I agree with that. Yep, yep, yep. But the thing is that there's other options out there. I wonder why our community. It's one thing. I understand the desire to go, hey, this game, let's say Dungeons and Dragons, doesn't fit with the kind of mode of game that I'd like to play. Whether you're going want to go old school, go OSR, or go more simulationist, which is fine. But we already have those in existence, and we have other ways to adjudicate that same thing. Oh no, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. Um, how do we adjudicate that? Like there are better ways, or let me say, not better. Um, or yes, there are better ways for your personality and your play type to engage in other methods of telling the story or randomizing or whatever that can lend itself to other aspects. And it just amazes me that we don't grab onto that, or maybe people don't know about it and it's just not as advertised. um, for example, going back to our tarot card playing card concept that I was mentioning earlier, is every time a card is removed from playing cards or tarot cards, it changes the probability. Now, that change in probability could be a thing that can be embraced in terms of the tone of your game. So, an example would be if the players get all the best cards at the beginning of the game session from a deck of cards, then it would lend itself to more of a downfall towards the end of the game, just through probabilities. Whereas if they draw the most horrible cards in the beginning of the game, and mind you, I'm saying this as they're being removed from the deck and not being added back in, by the end of the session, there might be rising action as they start to draw cards that are more favorable to them. And that rising falling action may be something you want in your game. You may want, like, hey, I want to draw cards. I want playing cards to be used in my game. And as a matter of fact, I don't think it's too difficult, even if you play online, for people to physically get a bunch of cards. But like I already did, I already showed off. I already showed this, where you have the random card. Yes, I do. You know, bam, draw 3 cards. Bam, draw 3 cards. Bam, draw 3 cards. Right? Um, oops. Yeah. The cat's meow. Oh. I don't know if this is the cat's meow show, but yeah. But like I said, I don't have a kitty cam, so whatever. Oh man. Hello, vampire raid. What is that? I don't even know what that means. I'm such a Luddite. Spook says, for my group, it comes down to investment. I'm a weirdo who likes to read up on systems and see how they work. My group all have day jobs and just want to escape for a few hours and not have to overthink. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think that's probably the best reason why people aren't into it, is just the investment, right? We can grab math rocks very easily without having to like decipher a bunch of stuff, but it takes some brain power to draw tarot cards and try to figure out what it means. Like I drew the tower when I went to sneak into the sewer. What the hell does that mean, right? Cat's Meow says, we were running a vampire, the Dark Ages game, just finished our final episode. Oh, that's sweet. we talk about Vampire the Dark Ages over here a little bit, or I bring it up. Let's just be, maybe I'm the bad guy. Yeah, it could become the kitty show. None of us would complain. I get it. She's sorry. He is falling asleep, so I'm just trying to. I don't. Yeah, I don't want to poke you. Yeah, relaxing during my games was not the best. I had people who would have asthma attacks due to freaking out and rushing in rushed situations during combat. Hey man, hey listen. Um, the epitome, sorry, of tabletop role playing games is when your um your emotional state attaches to what's happening in the game, and instead it flows into not what my character is going to do, but you start to relate it in your head. This is what I did at that situation, and it starts to imprint itself in your memories as if a thing that really did happen, because your imagination is powerful, and that's the sweet spot. Sometimes we don't talk about that part, but yeah. I do love using tarot cards during games, mostly because I like freaking my players out. Yeah, there's some people who are like this set of tarot cards, and the modified deck from Everway, and this is just I've shown this off already a couple times. This black waterproof set of cards, and yeah, it freaks some people out. Some people who have maybe a religious background or superstition. You're not supposed to shuffle tarot cards a certain way and things like that. So, yeah, I can see how some people would be against it. Although you gotta listen. There's a Star Trek tarot card deck that you can't be. There's no way you can be that hands-offish for tarot cards when you can basically order custom cards if you'd like. I mean, I know they can be a little bit pricey, but here in the States, I think maybe $30 to $50. I don't know. Really, Kitty? That was one thing that made it easier for play by acting out and making the sounds for actions with quick rolls between, and it helped to sort out hit locations since we would see what someone was doing. Yeah, we kind of did the same thing, right? Like even a game that is more descriptive than simulationist, like Dungeons and Dragons, we would do the same thing. I stab him in the arm, or the blade cuts across his thigh, or he gets hit in the kidney, or something like that. Yeah, even though it's just points versus points and whatnot. Yeah, we did the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, you might become an ASMR fan. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate it. You are so funny. Anyway, we've come to the end part of this. Way back in the day, tarot was a game. It died out. Then someone who wanted to look on mystical picked them back up and said they would talk to the devil with them. Yeah. Was the very easy to flow into the satanic panic when it comes to using like tarot cards for tabletop role-playing games, because it would come across that way. Yeah, the human is a neat pillow scratching those. Yes, yeah, I've got the micro scratches I've got on the back of my hands and arms. Oh man, and my thighs. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's why I have this blanket over me, because both the kitties, they jump and then latch on, and I've got to like grab them before they really draw blood. Yeah. We humans are weird. These little murder machines, we keep them in our houses. It's funny. Now I understand why, cats go after rats. Dogs used to hunt down little rodents and stuff like that too. But it would be a lot faster than making decisions based on entirely in your mind too, as well as being faster to make a quick action than spending a minute trying to explain what you were doing. Yeah, especially at today, and when you're playing in person. Yeah. Hey, listen, listen. Uh, Before I go live, sometimes, believe you me, these little fun muffins, uh, they're like, all right, human. I know you're looking at a screen, but you need to pay attention to me first. So there's a bit of that. Oh, oh, thanks. Sorry, still trying to get over a little something. I'm sorry, Kitty. I don't want you to get human cold. I don't think we exchanged too many. Hey, yeah, civilization would not have made it this fast if not for their excellent hunting skills applied to eliminating food storage pests. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's. I understand why, but it is funny that we human beings went out of our way to domesticate some of the most murderous animals in the world and keep them in our houses. It's funny. I mean, you go back far enough, felines and lupines, dogs and cats, long before start calling them just plain old dogs and cats, were murder machines, and they still are. To be honest with you, they still are. Yeah, as nice as you are, you would kill a mouse, wouldn't you? Yeah, yeah, you're just a little murder machine. Yeah, you'd bring it to my feet and scare the hell out of me. I know. If you'd ever go outside, really, really. You're just gonna stretch out like that. Like you think you know who you are. Don't look at me like that. Okay, I feel guilty now. uh Kept that nice. Sorry, this is this far as fast as it had. They kept the mice and rodents out of grain stores. Sure did. And I'm sure they were excellent to have around, like castles, like you said, food storage, ships. I'm sure sailing vessels would needed to have them. You're putty, really? It's interesting how many animals have evolved alongside humans in symbiotic relationships. Dogs, horses, yeah, pigeons. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Yep. Just letting me know. Trust me. Yep. Such a cutie cat. I know. I'm picking. I'm picking. Because Brutus, that's his name, is like literally splaying out. Tummy up, split. Do you want to get up? Okay. Okay. You can turn over if you want to. Purr, purr, purr. Let the audience hear you. I Yes, I love you too. Yeah, or own you. I guess would be the preferable thing. Yep. Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna need that hand to licky lickety lickety lick. Their hunting and killing success ratio too is so much higher than larger cats. Like 7 to 8 out of 10 hunts result in caught prey, while big cats maybe 2 to 4 out of 10. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, Heathen. Yep. When they trust you, they show their belly. Yeah, because because normally, um, a lot of cats, even dogs sometimes, you go to touch their belly and it immediately elicits that attack action where they close in with all four claws and the mouth and whatnot. And so yeah, absolutely. Hi, kitty. Yeah, anyway, guys, I'm not going to hold you. This is the cat show. It wasn't intended, although if I want like 2.8 million subscribers, I guess I could make it the cat show. But they should domesticate the giant sponge, so we'll have somebody political. Oh, Boom, boom, burn. Yeah. Yeah. TA's like, wait a minute. Do you own the cat? It's nice to be deluded that you are the owner. Yep. Cats adopt humans and not really the other way around. Yeah, exactly. They were like, hey, listen, we know how to get to the top. They're gonna feed us, house us, you know, rub our tummies when we want it, stay away from us when we don't. Oh, you're falling. Don't fall, kitty. Yeah. Anyway, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Also, thank you very much for even sticking here this long. And I I will request of you guys to come up with some ideas. If you guys want to talk about something, or doesn't have to be political, but it could be something happening in the tabletop role playing sphere, I would love to have some discussions about that. Um, but yeah, cats keep humans around to operate the can opener. Yep. They were like, we don't care how you do it. We need you to create an industrial infrastructure to create canned goods with cat food in it, just for the sole purpose of you opening it up to feed me. Could you imagine a giant alien race that's out for like intergalactic domination for no other reason than to feed their pets? They're like, we need 18 more habitable worlds. Well, why? Well, we need we need habitable worlds to put our pets in, because they demand even more space to run around. And then all of a sudden, the humans are like, "Oh, they're so cute," and the aliens like, "I know, right?" Yep. Future topic idea: no adjudication system. It's all about RP and convincing the GM. Well, yes. I don't know if we want to have one that's all about convincing the GM, because there are some ways maybe that are like meta, like money or sexual favors to convince the GM at the table. But diceless systems, I think, are a great way to do it. Oh, SETI was a tuna fiend. I missed the little guy. SETI, as in the organization SETI, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. As far as the name goes, because I know you're a tech dude. You're a super tech dude. So that's the first impression that I got. Oh, the alien in the movie Aliens. There was a hieroglyphic depiction that Geiger made of the alien being treated as Egyptians treated cats. Really? I know Geiger's artwork is what was to this day is like none other. Also, some players are better talkers than others in real life. Yep. No. No, not Yes, SETI is a program. Is what I'm relating to. There, heathen. Oh, I'm sorry, you had to put him down. Oh yeah, okay. You said yes. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that's the first thing that came to my mind when you said the name, and I was like, oh, you mean the like from what's the movie? It's called Contact with Jodie Foster. Is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence? Yes. Sorry, went around the world on that one. Pun intended. Anyway, guys, you guys got to get out of here, and so do I. So, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. Yep, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. That's where they're sending radio signals out into space to see if anyone would respond. Which there might be a chance that someone will respond, but we might not be around to hear it. just because of the time schedules involved. So, oh, then I learned about the pharaoh name Seti, meaning consecrated to Set. Pseudonym because he was a troublemaker. Hey, listen, you, we don't make animal personalities. We just have to live with them, right? Hilarious. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. Oops, going the wrong way. Thank you very much for allowing me to have my co-host here on my shoulder. I appreciate that as well from you guys. Have a great one. Thank you very much. We'll talk about something tomorrow. I don't know. See you. Bye.